the man in the turret, if he was going out into what he knew was a combat situation,
yes,
he was the commander of the car, and he had the gunner near him on the floor, sort of standing there. And the gunner looked after the gun, the ammunition supply, and any stoppages. And then you had the driver, and sitting beside him was the co-driver.
Yes.
And then you had the radio operator 2 paces back, and we had adapted the side of the Ford to accommodate the radio. And
was that the number 19, was it, or the Pi?
The 19 set.
The 19, yes.
Yeah.
And then I think the Pi C12 came in.
The C12, aye, yeah. Well, it was more on the soft skin vehicles.
Ah, right.
There was more room for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I was doing this book, I wrote to Dr. Conquerors O'Brien to see if he had any memories, and he wrote back a nice little letter saying that the only memories he had was of hiding in the Ford vehicles, and they were very dark with only little slits to see out, because he had to be escorted.
And you had no vision if the commander wasn't standing up in the turret and looking at it. He had to look at it.
Yeah.
And decide where the gun was to turn and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. And how many of you were there in the turret? Was there just the gunner and was the commander?
Well, we went out to the training that we had done at home, the ordinary annual training.
Yes.
Only used the turret for the machine gunner in the turret.
Yes.
And he was the only one that fitted in it, because not only did he have to fire the gun, but he had to turn the turret with his hands.
Slid it, didn't he? Yes.
Turned it around, And it's very heavy and awkward.
Oh, yes,
And there's only room now for one in it.
Yes.
So when you were late into a combat situation, there was no point in having the gunner sitting up there alone, and the officer or the senior NCO who was commander of the car sitting inside. We couldn't see out.
No. So
couldn't give directions.
What did he do?
He took the gunner down out of it and told the gunner to stand beside the Vickers machine gun and load it, and if there were any stoppages.
Yes.
Because he wouldn't be as good, useful on the gun.
Yes.
As the gunner. And if you got a stoppage, here, come on, stoppage.
Yeah. Would the commander fire the gun himself then?
Oh, aye.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the gunner was really then the assistant gunner.
Yeah, but he was down on the floor down there.
Yes.
And the spent ammunition cases
would fall on him.
Fell on him.
Gosh.
He was scalded. He was burnt.
Jeepers.
Aye.
And the driver, he sat up the front. Did he have a co-driver with him? Or
well, he had a driver there, and he had a standby driver in case he got hurt or injured or anything.
Yes.
But there was a gun there for him, and he could fire it through, but he couldn't see what he was firing at.
A Gustav or something, was it? Or,
couldn't see what he was firing at.
It must have been very, very hot then with 4 people in that.
Because it was that.
God.
No, it was rough.
God, yeah.
But you get used to it very quickly.
Yes, yeah. Well, if you're young and fit, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know.
When you got back after being out on a patrol, or there was some shooting on a patrol, you come in and everybody got together and discussed what was the worst aspect of firing from inside, and then you try and figure out ways of making things easier.
That's a good way though as well, because it helps people cope with the stress. If
it does,
Yes.
Yeah. And it gets everybody, I mean, rank nearly misses when there's 4 or 5 fellas in a Ford armoured car.
Yes.
I mean, they don't sort of this and sergeant that. And they come to pull the police. No, it was very interesting. We knew that the fellow who was in the turret handling the gun, he had 2 hands on the Vickers machine.
Yes.
Now, how was he to How was he to turn the turret?
Yes.
Couldn't turn the turret.
Yeah.
2 hands on it.
No.
Or anything like that.
There was 2 little grips, weren't there?
2 little grips, 2 little wooden grips. And Johnny Stapleton, come on down, he said, I'm thinking of something we could do.
Yes.
I went down and he said, do you know what I think we could do now? We could take that ball mounting that the Vickers is in on the turret.
Yes.
We could take that out and we could take the brake shoes off 2 of the 4 trucks.
Yes.
And we could put them on the inside of that.
Yes.
And we'd connect the 2 brake shoes with a wooden cable, 2 wooden cables, back to the grips on the gun.
Yes.
And on the grips of the gun, we could get the handbrakes off the BSA, and we could fit them onto the grips, the gun grips.
Yes.
Connect them to the cables.
Yeah.
And when you lay on the target, you get laid on it, you stay on it.
Yes.
And you pull in the brake cables.
Yes.
They pull in the cable. Cable pulls in the brake shoes.
Yes.
And the brake shoes grip on the ball mount.
On the ball mounting. So it's locked in place then, the elevation of the gun. Yeah.
And the lay of the gun.
Yes.
Yeah.
But can it not still move sideways if the turret moves?
Oh yes, it can. I mean, you can.
Yes.
But the turret, you move the turret.
Yes.
And you can relax the grip.
Yes.
On the ball mounting, and get it fixed on what you want to lay on.
Yes.
And hold it there.
And then hold it.
Yeah. When he said, "You stay here now all day, and you Paddy Lynch, and get Paddy Lynch, and tell him what I said."
Yes.
And he said, if you tell him to get 1 car done.
Yes.
And if we get 1 car done, we'll be up in the Glenamal tomorrow morning.
Test it.
As soon as daylight appears. And we went up and tested and it worked. I was in charge of the armoured car group.
Were you?
In the 35th Battalion.
Yes.
When we first came in contact.
Yes.
With those we had the old .303 Vickers.
Yes.
Of the First World War.
Yes. Yeah.
And these fellas had a 37mm cannon.
Cannon. Yes.
And a turret.
Yes.
And we were sent out. But we were able. We used the speed of the Ford was very fast, and in Elizabethville, all that started in the city of Elizabethville.
Yes.
And it had roads going that way, and then big main roads.
Yes.
About 3 main roads in the city, and then they had in between connecting roads.
Yes.
That were the first one you'd come across now, you could go down to the right.
Yes.
Next one you'd come across, no, you have to go the other way.
You'd have to,
so we had devised a scheme where we could go in and out like this, you know.
Right.
And we were able to handle them a bit. Yeah.
And what would happen if you came across one of these armoured cars? You'd go down the side road to avoid it. Was that it?
And you go down the same road to avoid it, and you'd come up the next opposite way. Do you know?
Yes.
And you'd come in behind them.
Right.
And strangely enough, they always had the turrets of the yoke open.
Yeah.
You fire a Vickers machine gun at them.
Yes.
Fire at the they would deflect into the vehicle.
Yes. That's right. I think they were designed with an open roof. But it was a 37mm gun. It was originally
37mm gun.
It was in the Honey.
An American built car.
Yes,
yeah.
They were used by the Americans in the Battle of the Bulge and around that time in 45, but they didn't like it because it was very susceptible to mines. And
it'd be too light.
Yes, there was no armour underneath.
No, exactly. Yes. They had a light armour.
Light armour.
Very light armour on the floor.
But and the other thing was apparently even though it was 6-wheel drive, it wasn't very good off road. If there was any kind of muddy condition, they
we never saw them off road.
No,
we were in the city all the time.
Yes.
That we were on the beginning of the final combat session, you know.
Yes, yeah.
And but they were nice vehicles.
You know the scout car that they developed without the turret?
Yeah.
That's I noticed in this picture here. It looks like it just had a small .30 or something machine gun.
I'll tell you a good story about that. Any time this was described, and it was always described as a brain gun.
Yes.
But it wasn't a brain gun. We wanted to get the turret off and get this little light tin mounting around that would be turned very
quickly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Johnny Stapleton again said, yes, we'll do that, we'll decide. Yes. But he didn't get any permission to do it. He just said, right, do it. And they were saying then, oh God, brain gun wouldn't be heavy enough or fast enough for what we want. We'll have to get Brownings.
Yes.
And a fellow called Raymond White, he said, I know where you get Browning machine guns. He said, there's plenty of Brownings up in Clancy Barracks that come off American and British aircraft that crashed or landed or anything.
Yes.
And he said they're up now in Clancy. And they can't be sold because there's regulations out from someplace that if you sell vehicles or anything sort, we can't sell guns with them. You can only sell the vehicle less the guns. I knew Kevin McGrath very well.
Yes.
Terrible nice fellow. So I went up to Kevin, and we went in and we had a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
And of course I said, Kevin, what are you doing with all the Brownings 300s that you have in there? Nothing, he said, we're not allowed to do anything with them. So I said to him, any chance that you could get 4 of them and put them onto the armoured cars that are going out without the turrets?
Yes.
And I could see him looking at me and said, what the hell do you want? Is that what brought you up here today? And he said, no, he said, there's no way to do that. He said, the guns are there and they're listed. He said, they're not on what official list.
Right.
But they're there as guns that come off aircraft.
Yes.
And we talked an awful lot about it, and 2 or 3 times afterwards I rang him on the phone and he said, any chance you don't be talking to me about Brownings. When those 4 cars arrived out in the Congo, they all had Browning machine guns on them.
Yes.
And they had boxes of Browning ammunition on them.
The miracle.
It is amazing the things that you got away with then.
Yes, yes.
The Department of Defence weren't very enthusiastic about doing anything about the Ford vehicles that are out there. They said that they're now the responsibility of the UN. And the UN should be doing that. Yeah. I read a letter from the OC of I think the 37th Battalion. Yes. Which would be the second last battalion, wouldn't it be? And the CO wrote to Defence Headquarters and said that he needed batteries for the cars. Yes. The batteries were all these batteries were 6-volt.
6-volt, yes.
And there was no 6-volt batteries being manufactured any place in the world today. There were none in Ireland. Yeah. They tried to get UN to get them. UN wrote back and said, what are you doing with 6-volt batteries? Yes. Every car in the world has a 12-volt battery. Yes. So anyway, they didn't get a reply back when they asked, when they wrote home and asked for replacement batteries. Yeah. So we had to go out and take them, stop cars that shouldn't be stopped.
And impound them.
It's amazing things have gone out there.
Yeah. But that's the only way.
What can you do? If you need a 12-volt battery.
Yes.
And you can't get them.
As needs must, I think is the term.
Yeah.
And were they reasonably successful, the scout cars?
These cars were built like that because we sent back a report from my battalion that we needed cars that had the capability of carrying at least 6 soldiers. And the only way we could do that was take the turret out and set soldiers on the inside or in there, 6 of them.
Yes.
Because the 4 armoured cars needed infantry support.
Yes.
But trained infantry support. Do you know what that means?
Yes.
That they knew how to handle.
So there'd be 6 soldiers plus the crew. Would there be a driver, a co-driver?
No. There'd be 6 altogether.
Oh, 6 altogether in total.
6,
yeah.
But if the crew had to get out, and fight on the ground as
infantry,
covering vehicles for the turreted cars, they all got out.
I see. Yes, yeah.
They all got out, and they
take the Browning
they take
with
the
them.
gun with them.
Right.
The gun was only sitting on a peg, and they can take it out and.
I see. So so it was like a little mini armoured personnel carrier then.
Exactly.
And how did you find those jeeps? The jeeps went out on patrol with the Ford. There's 2 jeeps in that other picture.
Well, it all depends on what.
Yes.
If
the Willis Jeep.
If you were going out now, for instance, with a substantial infantry number of infantry in the patrol, and they were expected combat.
Yes.
You bring light cars out.
Yes.
And use them as forward scouts.
Right.
And if they saw anything, they stopped.
Yes.
And then you could get up, and the cars would come up and investigate what the problem was.
Yes. Yeah.
No. No, they were very good now. It was amazing the way that things were invented. And,
yes.
And done without getting third.
But that's the thing. But you see, you can get away with that when you're out of view.
Oh, I mean, there's nobody.
Yes.
There's nobody watching what you're doing.
No.
If you can find some way of getting what you wanted.
Yes, yeah.
Well,
you have to get the job done.
You see the armoured car there now with that addition on the bonnet. That was put onto that now for the first combat situation that we were in there. And we had to break down the wall. We had to break down the gate of gendarmerie headquarters.
Right.
And we hadn't got any welding equipment.
Yeah.
And we had no spare metal. Do you know the welding equipment, the old welding equipment that used to be used?
The oxyacetylene type.
Oxyacetylene.
Yes.
Yeah, we were. The only thing we could do now is try and find oxyacetylene equipment someplace.
Yes.
And we had five excellent fitters. And I remember going down to them and saying, listen guys, we need welding equipment.
Yes.
And we haven't got any.
Yeah.
And there's no use in writing home for us. And 2 days later, they arrived, one guy arrived in with the oxyacetylene equipment. Another fellow came in with one of the doctors. He got in touch with one of the doctors who got the gas in the hospital. Oh, another guy had gone out and he'd found old bits of railway tracks.
I noticed it's in different bits.
Aye, yeah.
Yeah.
And some of this was H section metal there in the front.
Yes.
And they
cobbled it together.
48 hours later they got all the gear.
Gosh.
And they went in and they started and they built that there.
Yes.
When Frank Lawless, who was a captain then, Frank planned it and supervised it.
So there was only the one that had that on the front.
That's all, yeah.
Yes.
And this was the battering ram vehicle.
Yeah.
But when we get down to the headquarters of the opposite side, the bloody kit was lying right up.
So it was never actually used. I wondered, because I would have thought that the car would be destroyed if you...
Oh no, it was...
After I switched off the recorder, I suddenly remembered this photo. According to Art, it shows 3 Irish fitters whose names he couldn't recall. The man circled was Napoleon, a mechanic, and according to Art, a type of bishop in the local evangelical African church. As Napoleon didn't have any family locally, he used to come every afternoon after work and help the Irish Army fitters. Soon he came on Saturdays as well. He was a very skilled mechanic, and he proved invaluable. As the Irish mission wound down, the Irish Department of Defence was asked would it sanction a lump sum payment to Napoleon by way of thanks. It refused. The UN was then approached, but it too refused any payment. Meanwhile, the fixtures and fittings in the Irish base were being prepared for forwarding to the UN for disposal. According to Art, 100 of the steel bed frames that had been used by Irish troops were quietly diverted to Napoleon. Steel bed frames were greatly valued in Elizabethville, as they, unlike wood, were rot and insect proof. Napoleon would have been able to sell them locally, and this was seen as fair payment for all his hard work.